Hello, and welcome to the first ever video tutorial of TutorialQuest.com. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I created a digital painting in Adobe Photoshop CS3. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about preparation. As you notice, I've used a grid on my canvas. Now, some of you might not like using a grid, and that's perfectly fine. But I do encourage it, especially for the beginner, because it helps with proportions and it helps you to be as accurate as possible, which is very important, especially when you're doing a portrait. Alright, now that you have your canvas prepared, let's begin the digital portrait. Now, as you can tell, I'm just blocking in shapes, just getting a general sense, adding in some color. I'm not too overly concerned with details, those will come later. This is probably one of the funnest parts of it because I can just really play around, play with colors, play with composition, just get the general feeling of what I want to make. A lot of the time what happens, especially for beginners, is that they work in chunks. They'll choose their favorite spot, such as the face, and they'll just keep working on it until it's done. This isn't the right approach at all, because what can easily, and most often does, happen is that they work themselves into a corner. So they'll work on a hand or a face, and they'll notice that it's completely out of proportion with the rest of the piece. So they've already committed probably an hour, 45 minutes to this one spot that just doesn't work for the entire portrait. So then they have to go back, erase it, and redo it again. And that just takes more time and more energy, and it can be very discouraging. So basically, what this all means is just start big and work small. Don't be overly concerned with details. Just have fun, stay loose, play around. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. Just go back and fix it later, but don't really worry about it. All right, now I'm starting to add a few details. Again, staying very loose, getting the edges a little more refined, making sure my proportions are right, adding in some shadows, adding some highlights, just getting a general idea of where the light's coming from. Refining my edges a little bit more, adding a little bit more details. So now I'm zooming in to refine the face a little bit. Keep in mind, when you're doing a portrait, there's 4 things you should really concentrate on: the eyes, the nose, the mouth, and the hair. It's because these 4 things are really what create the likeness of the person. Alright, now I'm really starting to get into the face a little bit more. Still staying loose, just adding some details, adding highlights, trying to make the face pop out a little bit from the background. Adding some details to the nose. Still not overly concerned with being super precise, just staying loose. So just have fun. Making the eyes, I'm going to make the eyes pop out a little bit more from the face. Add some general shadows, soften it up a little bit. Just remember to stay loose, even when you're getting into the details like this. Very important. Don't be overly obsessed with likeness yet. Keep your eye on the grid. Oh, playing around. I didn't like the eye, so I'm erasing it. I'm going to try it again, work on the proportions some more. And during this tutorial, you really need a Wacom tablet. You really can't get this kind of control with just a mouse, nor is it as much fun. So if you don't have a Wacom tablet, I highly, highly recommend you get one. You can get some really small ones, like 7-inch ones, for probably a couple $100. I use my 6x8. I absolutely love it. It's perfect size. That was about $300. So I highly, highly recommend you get one. It's so worth the money, and it just makes it so much more fun. Okay, I don't know if you noticed, but I flipped the canvas horizontally. Now, what happens is when you're working on a piece, you only see it one way, and your eye gets used to seeing it a certain way, and it becomes less sensitive to certain details. Now, when you flip it horizontally, those details will come back to you because your eye is not used to seeing that. So as you can see, by flipping it, I see all sorts of these new details that I'm working out. So I encourage you just to periodically flip your canvas and then take a look, see if anything pops up they didn't notice before. Okay, and as you can see, I'm just adding some more details around the eyeball, making it more refined. Pay careful attention to the eyes when you're drawing a portrait, because as human beings, it's the first thing that we're drawn to. It's the first thing that we connect to when we look at someone. And plus, it just communicates so much about someone. You can tell if someone's sad or happy just from the eyes. So it's really, really important to get these right. Now, as you probably noticed a couple of times, I've used the rectangular marquee tool to select and rotate the eye. Now, I mean, you can choose to do this. Some people think it's cheating, but it's really up to you. I like to use it because it saves me a hell of a lot of work. And I mean, the tool's there. It's made in Photoshop for us to use, so why not use it?